Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. Government agencies appear to have invented a new type of ice. Government ice melts when it's cold and the ice grows when temperatures are warm. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says that July was the hottest month ever recorded. Global warming theory says that the poles should warm much faster than the rest of the planet, and experts tell us that the poles are melting very quickly. If July was the hottest month on record, then the North Pole must have been very warm, and ice at both poles must be melting at record rates. So let's take a look at the data. This is the North Pole temperature data from the Danish Meteorological Institute. The red line is this year's temperatures, and the green line is the 1958 to 2002 average. As you can see, temperatures during July were below normal every single day at the North Pole. Antarctic sea ice is melting very slowly, and the extent is currently the highest in the last 7 years. This graph shows Arctic sea ice extent for every day during the past 15 and a half years. The red line is the 365-day mean. As you can see, there's been almost no trend. The Arctic should have been record hot, but the North Pole was below normal temperatures every day during July, and the ice is melting very slowly in the highest extent in several years. Meanwhile, Antarctic sea ice extent is among the highest years on record. This is because temperatures around Antarctica have been running extremely cold. And what about Greenland? The surface mass balance this year is well above average. Greenland's surface normally gains about 375 billion tons of ice every year, but this year it's been more than 400 billion tons. So Arctic sea ice extent has expanded this year. Antarctic sea ice extent has also expanded, and the surface mass balance of Greenland has expanded as well. The behavior of ice at both poles is not consistent with NOAA's claim that July was the hottest month on record. And satellite data shows that NOAA is lying as well. Temperatures in the lower troposphere of the Earth are only 0.2 of a degree above normal. July was actually a fairly ordinary month, not a record hot one like government agencies claim. Here in the United States, the percentage of the country to reach 35 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees Fahrenheit so far this summer is second lowest on record. The percentage of the U.S. to get hot is down nearly 40% from 90 years ago. Summers used to be extremely hot in the U.S., but we've gotten spoiled by much cooler summers over the past few decades. This is the U.S. Weather Bureau temperature anomaly map from August 1936. There was a massive heat wave from coast to coast during August 1936, with the central part of the country an incredible 10 degrees above normal. 10-degree anomaly in 1936 and a 0.2 degree anomaly during July 2021. And also during August 1936, 1/3 of India was flooded and another third was suffering from drought and famine. 90 years ago in 1931 was the most widespread heat in U.S. history. And during August of 1931, China was experiencing the worst flood in history. 50,000 square miles was underwater and millions of people died. And at the same time in 1931, drought covered almost the entire United States and lots of Americans were starving. And if we go back 100 years, millions of people in Europe, Russia, and Asia were starving to death from record heat and drought. This week in 1969, the second most intense hurricane in U.S. history struck the Gulf Coast, with winds near 200 miles per hour. The U.S. government wants people to believe that July was the hottest month on record and the ice is melting very quickly, but what they're claiming simply isn't true. And to finish this video up, let's look at one more fraudulent climate claim which is currently circulating. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change goes region by region to preview climate destruction. Strong tropical cyclones that have grown more severe in East Asia will likely migrate towards the poles. I found this claim particularly amusing because my wife Kyrie plotted the data out this morning. According to the Japanese Meteorological Agency, the number of Pacific typhoons has decreased over the last 50 to 60 years. You can see Curiet's graphs on Pierre Gosselin's website, No Trick Zone. July was nowhere near the hottest month on record, and sea ice at both poles expanded this year. The properties of ice haven't changed, but the properties of government agencies has. They're getting bolder and bolder with their climate lies, and they no longer make any pretense of telling the truth. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this fraud for the past 13 years. You can visit him, Curiet, and Caesar on the web at realclimatescience.com.